Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Keck's Hillbilly Think Tank. I am Spencer Keck. I am running for magistrate in Hardin County. I'd love your vote. I know, in the meantime, let's get to know me. So, today I want to talk about Kentucky's shrinking exports. If you haven't already heard about it, Kentucky's exports to Canada are shrinking rapidly, and it's hurting us. It's hurting all kinds of industries, not just the farming industry, which I like to talk about a lot since our soybeans are going unbought by China and by Canada. But let's look at how much money making Canada our enemy, how much is that losing us? All right. So last year, Canada bought over 9.3 billion worth of products from Kentucky. And that made it Canada our largest export destination. That means something huge, right? That's a lot of money being brought into Kentucky by Canada. Now, why is Canada not buying from us? Well, let's start off with the fact that someone, we all know who, said that we need to make Canada our 51st state. And we said that we would either do this by invitation or by force. You know what? If you've never been to Canada, you're depriving yourself of a really good vacation, number one. Very friendly people, very polite people, people that speak our language, English. Yes, they also speak French, but shouldn't we all be bilingual? But it's easy to go up there, spend the American dollar, which for a long time was worth more than the Canadian dollar. I don't know how that is now, but the exchange rate was always good when I would go. And I've been quite a few times to Canada. Get up there, you can enjoy modern culture similar to ours, but not exactly the same, and have a good, relaxing vacation with people that back then loved us, absolutely loved us. They loved us as neighbors. Did they want to be exactly like us? No. They liked their universal health care, but they do appreciate having or did appreciate having a stable neighbor to the south. Can we say that anymore? Can Canadians say that anymore? No. They're absolutely terrified of a president that says we should invade Canada to make them our 51st state. Now, you guys might think he's just a hilarious buffoon and then that you love electing a buffoon to be the president because, oh my God, he's going to help our economy. Well, he's not helping Kentucky's economy. The tariffs have even made it worse. But to start off before the tariffs, saying that we should invade Canada to make them our 51st state made them terrified of someone they used to look up to as, oh, I look up to a bigger, older brother, protector older brother. Not now. Now we're the abusive older brother. That is not good for Kentucky. $9.3 billion last year Canadians spent buying our goods. Canada is the largest importer of American goods, of Kentucky goods, I should say. Canada takes more goods from us than any other nation. So, what other stuff do they like to buy from us or trade with us? Well, they buy motor vehicles made in Kentucky, 2.6 billion worth of US made vehicles, Kentucky made vehicles, that motor vehicle parts. So 1.1 billion. So in Elizabethtown, Hardin County, we make parts for vehicles. We have got a couple plants that do that. These are good union jobs in Hardin County. Motor vehicle parts, 1.1 billion were bought by Canadians. 1.1 billion from Kentucky. That's a lot of money lost due to tariffs but mainly due to making our friends our enemies. Computer equipment. They bought Kentucky computer equipment to the tune of 434 million. They bought aerospace products and parts to the tune of 338 million. These are all Kentucky made. Kentucky made iron and steel products, 262 million. Canada buys were bought last year. Resins and synthetic rubber, $249 million worth of Kentucky products made here. Metalworking machinery, 242 million. Plastic products, 241 million. Miscellaneous manufactured goods, 239 million. Basic chemicals, 167 million. All these numbers I'm giving you are Kentucky dollars lost, because that's how much they spent on us last year before we made them our enemy. Now, other products, of course, that Canadians import from Kentucky are the bourbon, which they're not buying anymore, and agriculture goods like soybeans. We talked about that on this show many times. And why do we want to hurt Kentucky farmers so bad by making a wonderful neighbor our enemy? Not even frenemy anymore. They're actually terrified of us because a president is saying he wants to invade them, to make them 51st state. Ludicrous. How do we come back from this? These are Kentucky jobs we're talking about. We're talking about billions worth of dollars being used to buy products made in Kentucky. We got to change this. It's not a joke. I'm not laughing. I don't care how much you think this buffoon is just, it's just the old man talking. It's crazy. Well, crazy has consequences on the international stage, which becomes Kentucky stage when you're taking away Kentucky money and Kentucky jobs. That's not what we're here for. We need Blue Oval SK in Hardin County to make lots of money. And how do we do that? We keep on trading with our biggest importer of Kentucky goods, and that's Canada. We can't do that if they're treated like the enemy. So let's remember our Kentucky roots grow into trees that can be sent for sale over in Canada, over in other countries we've made enemies of. But we've got to get these relations back. We need to put people in office that will rebuild good trading relations. All right, there's not enough Kentuckians to buy those billions of dollars worth. They're now being lost in this stupid trade war. And it's not anymore just even a trade war. It's Canadians protecting themselves, they fear, from America. And sadly now, that means Kentucky doesn't need to be punished for something we had no part of. They love drinking our bourbon up there in Canada. They did love, I should say. This is all past tense. Now they're insisting on drinking just their whiskey, not Kentucky whiskey. It's a matter of pride for them now. We put that thumb in their eye, they're not going to take it. They shouldn't have to. But we need to go back, rebuild these bridges, rebuild these relationships. And man, let's get that Kentucky bourbon back up over there. All right. We know we need it. I need it. I like to drink some bourbon. But you know what? If the bourbon industry is hurting because our friends don't want to buy our bourbon overseas anymore, that means I don't have as much choice here in Kentucky. Bourbon and distilleries are going under. only in the last 7 months because there's not as much consumers of one of our greatest products. I like to have my diversity in my bourbon. I need our friends to help. We need to share it with them. They need to buy it. So let's go back. Let's get these relationships back. These are Kentucky jobs. You know, you can't jack up the price of bourbon so that only people in the United States now that buy bourbon have to pay a higher price to pay for this offset from everything we've lost due to making an enemy of a friend. Come on, this doesn't make any sense. I know that you know it. So let's do what's right. Let's get back to sanity. All right, y'all. Love one another. Take care of one another. Remember, we are our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. I'm running for office. Hope you vote for me. Have a great rest of the weekend.